improve what they're promising parents, then the only way to really do that is to compare kids' outcomes on the same exam.
And what sort of research did you contribute?
Yeah, welcome to another Dash program. You see it?
They accepted accountability. They were willing to be good partners in exchange for providing private education. They would take the public dollars and understand there are rules attached to public dollars. Since about 2017 or so, the results have been almost uniformly bad as these programs have expanded across the country. In places like DC, places like Louisiana, where I've done a lot of work, Indiana, Ohio, and so on. So there really is, I was part of that period of time where the results shifted. And part of why my view shifted, frankly, is from cautiously optimistic 20 years ago, 18, 19 years ago, to a very emphatic critic today. So the results shifted over the last 20 years. The bigger and the more recent the voucher system, the worse the results have been for kids.
You mentioned yourself that it's expensive and difficult to start a school, keep it going, make sure that it's providing a quality education. Is it possible that these newer schools that are popping up and receiving vouchers are just getting started, right? That in a few years...
I was just
the thing that I think we don't know, but we should be skeptical about. We do know, for example, that when those that are running the schools taking those vouchers go down, the church is running a private school. Some of that revenue for something else. And then the other new player in this space, especially in what are called micro schools, which are very small private schools, 8, 9, 10 children that grow out of the pandemic environment. There's been a lot of new investment on the for-profit sector in these micro schools in places like Florida, and that investment's coming from private equity. So I don't think you have to beat up on for-profit providers across various social services. You don't have to necessarily even beat up on private equity per se, but I do think a healthy degree of skepticism is warranted when it comes down to whether it's sort of sending revenue to churches or to sending profit margins to private equity. If they really have the best interest of the kid's academic career and lifelong learning at heart, or if this is really about dollars as far as they can go to meet some basic modest level of improvement for those kids while making the dollars, say, again, in the case of private equity, making that profit as large as possible. I think we should be really skeptical about that.
If voucher-supported schools fail to meet whatever standards states and districts set for public schools, are they still eligible to receive voucher funding?
No, but the answer to that does vary a little bit by state. So in the newer states like Arizona or Florida, there's really nothing that the state can do to throw a voucher school out of being a participant and a recipient of public funding. I mean, there are some very long... a pretty well-known Catholic school and was had historical records of financial problems, but it managed to stay open for quite some time and was highly reputable in terms of actually the state said, you're just not your books. All of what we're doing is just sending dollars to a black hole in some sense with respect to financial transparency. They actually did school from the payrolls of the voucher program there. So it does depend on how the states are thinking about accountability. And again, like so much of this, like the academic outcomes, the older programs allow for a lot more oversight and a lot more accountability. When it comes to that, the newer programs, it's anything goes.
Critics have noted that certain voucher advocates seem to be motivated by this belief that children in public schools are exposed to ideological content. Books containing materials they find objectionable. So they set up and support ideologically conservative alternatives. Is there anything to stop very progressive entities from starting?
Of children is healthy for a society and healthy for education of children is healthy for a society and healthy for democracy. I've the new religious separatism in American education that going on. It's just the idea that our religious tradition in these folks' words, that these people shouldn't even exist, at least according to the identity they've identified for themselves. And we're just going to separate ourselves out and isolate ourselves from larger communities. That is one argument for how public dollars should be used and what American society should look like. It's one I happen to disagree with.
Because I'm focused on something.
Voucher funding. There have been fits and starts in place from time to time. The federal government is agnostic about what those standards are for the most part, despite all the rhetoric on the right now about getting the feds out of education. So the federal government doesn't dictate what's taught in local public schools. There is some conversation to be had at your individual state level about what's taught in your public schools, but that has nothing to do with the federal government. All of that, though, all of those minimal standards for what's taught in public schools do go out the door when you're talking about voucher funded schools. And I and others have written, for example, you mentioned not teaching reading or writing. A number of these schools.
Hello, I'm Sylvia Lee, and I'm calling from Asset-Based Lending on a recorded line. And you inquired about financing for a real estate project, and I'm excited to assist you with this.
Okay, thank you. How are you doing?
Great, I'm doing just fine. Let me ask a few questions so I can get you over to a loan officer.
Big voting blocs say they're prepared to join forces in a vote of no confidence for Prime Minister Michel Barnier if he dares push his 2025 budget through Parliament using an emergency measure. A no confidence vote would lead to the collapse of a centrist government not even in power for 3 months. The populist parties contest the budget, which is full of tax hikes and benefit cuts meant to help plug the huge French deficit. The collapse of the French government would likely roil financial markets and weaken Europe at a crucial time as the war in Ukraine continues and President-elect Trump prepares to take power. Eleanor Beardsley, NPR News, Paris.
The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 74 points at 44,836. This is NPR News. Intel has ousted CEO Pat Gelsinger. The executive stepped down today after nearly 4 years at the helm of the semiconductor company. Intel says 2 other executives will take over until a permanent replacement's found. Confidence eroded in the ousted executive's ability to turn around Intel during his tenure. The company's stock plunged 61%. It struggled to overcome competition, including from NVIDIA. Last month, NVIDIA replaced Intel on the blue-chip Dow Jones Industrial Average Index following a 25-year run. Killer whales are known for being highly intelligent. Now, a new study shows how that helps them hunt some of the largest animals on the planet. NPR's Lauren Sommer has more.
Whale sharks are big, the size of a school bus, and being that big is their main defense against predators. But in Mexico's Gulf of California, scientists have documented killer whales hunting them, which they published in the journal Frontiers. Here's how it works. The killer whales ram into the white shark, flipping it over. When sharks are upside down, they go into a trance-like state. Then the killer whales bite the soft underbelly, causing the whale sharks to bleed out. Potlucks, block news, parades, you get the picture. And you know what else? Public radio. Listen, the more we learn, explore, and get to know each other. This Giving Day, give back to the station that keeps you in the know and shares voices from this community. Here's how to donate. Make your gift today at gpd.org or call 800-222-4788. And thanks.
This is Fresh Air. I'm Terry Gross. Today we're going to hear from a musician whose music is vibrant, exciting, and new, even if it sounds like it could have been performed in the 1920s. His name is Jerron Paxton, and he has a new album called Things Done Changed. He brought some of his instruments to the studio when he spoke with Fresh Air's Sam.
It's a record. Yeah, man. Cha-cha, no. Father, so come down now. We really high, so high. We really high, I wanna fly up to the sky. Look what me now. I'm so keen, so keen, so keen. Me I run my steam. Stop for me, stop for me. Everybody know about me, stop for me. Come on, either me fuck them girl or the fuck them bitch. Them girl are my side chick. So deal with the thing. Girl want come for me thing. When me no clean, girl them still me no mean. Girl them scream. Girl them scream. Even high, so high, up in the sky. Up in the sky. Blackboard, road line, I'm so in my mind. When me attack up my machine, me don't know, say my thing clean. Everywhere me look, tell them see me. Tell them want come to me. Some niggas see me, them want be me. Them know how me think. Them know how my thing go. Them never felt with me limbo. Don't want hit everywhere me go. Don't know how my thing set. Talk about me.
Preview. Running back again on top.
It's a record. Yeah, man. Cha-cha, no. Father. So come down now. We really high, so high. We really high, I wanna fly up to the sky. Look Look on me now. I'm so clean, so clean, so easy. Me run my steam. Stop on me, stop on me. Everybody know about me, stop on me. These are me fuck them gal or the fuck them bitch. Them gal are my side chick. So deal with the thing. Gal wanna come for me thing. When me hold no clean, gal them see me hold no mean. Gal them scream. Gal them scream. Even high, so high, up in the sky, up in the sky. That boat, cloud nine, I'm so in my mind. When we attack of my machine, he don't know, say my thing clean. Everybody me look, tell them see me, tell them want come be me. Some niggas see me, them want be me. Them know how me think. Oh my thing go, them never fed with me limbo. One part hit, everybody go. Don't know how my thing set. Can't talk about me, nigga don't know nothing about me. All them know say, anyway me go, be clean. Social distancing, yeah. That's how my thing set. Me don't really fuck to the pet. Got them love me. When I go to the gym, clean up the thing. I'm so high, in the sky. I wanna fly. I love you. Can't talk about me. Everyone, set a record. Yeah, man. Cha no. Father. So come down now. Feeling high. So high. Feeling high. I wanna fly up to the sky. Look on me now. I'm so clean, so clean, so easy. Me run my steam. Stop on me, down, stop on me. Everybody know about me, stop on me. These are me fuck them gal or the fuck them bitch. Them gal are my side chick. So we deal with the thing. Gal wanna come for me thing. When me roll out clean, gal them see me roll out mean. Gal them scream. Gal them scream. Even high, so high, up in the sky, up in the sky. That boat, cloud nine, I'm so in my mind. When we attack of my machine, he don't know, say my thing clean. Everybody look, gal them see me, gal them want come be me. Some niggas see me, them want be me. Them know how me think. Oh my thing go, them never. Say my thing clean. Everybody look, gal them see me, gal them want come be me. Some niggas see me, them want be me. Them know how me think. Oh my thing go, them never. Say my thing clean. Everybody look, gal them see me, gal them want come be me. Some niggas see me, them want be me. Them know how me think. Oh my thing go, them never. Say my thing clean. Everybody look, gal them see me.
Them people, I don't know. People at the song around, I don't know. Look out for it. In every platform, it's going to be on. Look out for it. Alright. Pick up all of the viewers there. I don't know. Don't say everybody. Help out the views. I don't know. The monetization status. I understand. Yes, I. Oh shit, no, this is Jersey. I should never play my audio. I don't see that up there. That's Monday. We can make today. Monday.
A week's wages.
So how old is this guitar then?
housing parents, then the only way to really do that is to compare kids' outcomes on the
Andrew, before they had the F holes on it.
Gotcha. So you said that you are solo. You want it to sound like a bunch of instruments kind of playing together. Could you show us what that's like on the guitar?
All right. I got you there. All right. Well, when you want that nice full sound out of the guitar, you've got to have a nice little rhythm behind you, and that could be just about anything. Let's try this one. Nothing now but talking, but you also got some fingers you can play with too. And give the guitar a nice little voice.
Joining us today is a new album, all original compositions called Things Don't Change. Trent, thanks so much. That was really great. I love how you can do that and just explain it while you're doing it at the same time. That's not easy to do, just even playing the music. Was there a point in your life?
You said that should be making you what? Oh my God. What?
Now. So go ahead. Hi, how you doing?
Are you picking up? What's the name? And the chips are in there. You're welcome. You have a good day. You're gonna wait about 2 hours?
So that's up with people. All of that, $7 order for $7. So give thanks to it, feed still. Everything go. cancel order. See, I don't have that much money. Take a picture of the order. Send it to them.
and produce mighty sound.
And this says nylon strings rather than steel strings. Is that correct? Or
I don't play a banjo with steel strings.
Right.
All my banjos have gut or nylon string. Even the fretted banjo I played have gut or nylon strings. Just produce a better sound. I think it was only the Gibson Banjo Company that produced banjos that left the factory with steel strings. I think every other company had gut strings on their banjos until the post-war.
to me, it sounds like with the nylon strings, you can play. Your sound can be mellower, but it also seems to allow for a lot more dynamics. So do you think that's true?
I think it's very true, especially on the modern banjo. You know, most Gibson-based banjos only have one color. The nylon strings give you so much more control of color that you can paint with the banjo that it ends up being a lot more expressive.
On the song that you play on the album, It's All Over Now, in the liner notes, you say that you play this stroke style. Can you explain what that is or demonstrate that for us?
All right. The stroke style is what they called in books published at the time is I guess what they call clawhammer banjo now, or frailing or whatever. And I think most of those words can be traced back to none other than the great New Yorker Pete Seeger. Pete Seeger had a big influence on banjo culture, much bigger than he's given credit for, which I think includes finding those words and making them ubiquitous among banjo players. But stroke style is you stroke the string with the tops of your fingers rather than making it like that with each individual finger. You hit it with the top. And you can hear it, like the difference between picking and each one of those stroke notes have a little bit punchier sound, and you combine that with the way you play with your thumb, and you get a nice cross-cultural reference here. It's called Brand New Shoes.
John, that was great. We need to take a break here. We'll be back after a moment. I'm Sam Brigger, and this is Fresh Air.
Ooh, that Mississippi bottom is filled with mud and clay. Ooh, that Mississippi bottom filled with mud and clay. Ooh, that Mississippi woman stole my heart away. Baby, if you didn't want me, you didn't have to stall. Baby, if you didn't want me, you sure didn't have to stall. I could get me more lovers passing the train home. Could it take rocks and gravel to build your solid road?
The Neubauer Family Foundation supports WHYY's Fresh Air and its commitment to sharing ideas and encouraging meaningful conversation. Support for NPR comes from the station and from Subaru. The Subaru Share the Love event runs through January 7th.
I think I realized the music is after that. I'm going to delete the show. for all the other people. I don't know.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والليل إذا يغشى والنهار إذا تجلى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى إن سعيكم لشتى وأما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى وأما من بخل واستغنى وكذب بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى وما يغني عنه ماله إذا تركت إن عليه على الهدى وإن لنا للآخرة والأولى وأن نرتكم نارا تلظى لا يصلها إلا الأشقى الذي كتب وتولى وسيجنبها الأتقى الذي يؤتي ماله يتزكى وما يهدي عنده من نعمة تجزى إلا ابتغاء وجه رب الأعلى ولسوف يرضى بسم الله الرحمن إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى وأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإنما العسر يسرا إنما العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم كلا إن الإنسان ليطغى أن رآه استغنى إن إلى فجورها وتقواها قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها كذبت ثمود بتقواها إذ ما تشقاها فقال لهم رسول الله ناقة الله وسقياها فكذبوا فعقروها إنما عليهم ربهم بذنبهم فسواها ولا يخاف عقباها بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والليل إذا يغشى والنهار إذا تجلى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى إن سعيكم لشتى أما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى وأما من بخل واستغنى وكذب بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى وما يغني عنه ماله إذا تردى إن علينا على الهدى وإن لنا للآخرة والأولى وأن نرتكم نارا تلقى لا يصلها إلا الأشقى الذي كذب وتولى وسيجنبها الأتقى الذي يؤتي ماله يتزكى وما يأتي عنده من نعمة تجزى إلا ابتغاء وجه ربه الأعلى ولسوف يرضى بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضلا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى أما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فاصبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ
But then the shit hit me like when it was too late, you know. Like I'm trying to make sure she's okay. She didn't spoke up to me, and then this random person texting me from her number, pretending to be her, right? Only to say that they're not her.
Oh.
And then they start responding to me again. Bro, that was the most. So I've been under the impression that something happened to my friend.
Yo.
And this has been years now. That was like 2021.
Yeah.
She hasn't been on her social media. She has not reached out to me yet. None of that. And that's not like her at all, bro. At all.
Yeah.
Especially if she know I'm in the same city but as her. Like, she's not going to do that. I her few friends, bro. Like, that shit was so weird. But Spirit keeps telling me, like I said, whenever I read tarot on the situation, like, they keep telling me something happened to her. And it's like, I think I'm in denial about it because, of course, you don't want to believe that is true. And, you know, like, there's a part of me that still kind of hold on to hope that, you know, she'll pop up or some shit, but I don't know. Because even my first job, after moving to Atlanta, I had some suspicious shit happen to me where I was working at. But I escaped it because, I mean, it just didn't work. Like, what they tried to do, like, it just didn't work. Like, I was just a little bit too wise for that shit. Like, niggas was watching me. They know I was working like 4 to 5 days a week type shit. I was opening and closing stuff. You know, my car was bigger than me. I had a Jeep. The shit bigger than me. When I went to go get in my car, there was these little balls of tissue all on my driver's window, on my door. She's never, like, at post, she's never done that before. But that particular night, like, what she how that is. Don't you know they reduced my days to like 1 day out of the week? So they basically fired me after that shit. And this is after a black girl already went missing from there.
Where you at now?
So fucking this 18-year-old fucking child and he's speeding his ass off. Like, nigga, what the hell?
Where you at now?
I'm not trying to speak rich. I can't be read like that. Hold on.
Okay.
Let's get to the I'll be able to like hear you as your accent, remember?
Yeah. Oh. That's an ETA.
Hold on. I'm 30 minutes away.
30?
Yeah, so I haven't made no real progress.
You think you can go across the bridge already? I said, you go over the bridge?
I went over every bridge.
Okay.
Is there another one?
Yeah, the big bridge. Okay.
I'm gonna recall these as I go. A lot of shit is looking different. So. It would be nice to see my school.
Yeah.
I wonder what it's like.
It's a pleasure.
I doubt if any of my professors are still there though. My picture's still hanging up.
Okay.
My picture is from the science fair and from the sorority. They ain't got no choice but to keep the sorority picture whether I'm in it or not. And the reason why I say that is because we chartered on that campus. It was the first AKA there. And basically, the picture that I'm in is the picture with the president of the whole sorority.
Oh.
Which, you know, I just don't, that's like a rare occurrence, basically, you know? It would be nice for them to take my shit down. Because I'm definitely not a part of no principalities. But it just be cloud chasing, so
Yeah.
more than likely it's still up here.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd be like, what the hell is she talking about? Dang, the sun already going down. Yeah. I'm 25 minutes away, so I'll just call you when I'm like closer.
All right. Just time, I tell you. Don't see them every time, I don't know. Try to get over this. I'm hungry, like I'm going to cook some food now. Much.
sir. What is this process called? Because I've never seen a smaller plane hijacking a bigger plane. What is the process called? This I'm very curious, sir. What is this process called? Because I've never seen